Let me see something. What up, what up, what up? Like that. What up, party people? Let me get a mic check 1, 2, man. Make sure we all good. Can somebody say something in the chat for me? Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know. Give me something in the chat. Let me know you can hear me. What up, Randy? Hey, Randy be on deck. Randy, you are officially my audio engineer, man. What's happening? What's going on? What up, Empress Naima? What's good? Oh, the Bayou Oracle told you to shoot you a message because PayPal be bugging sometimes, man, with reactivating profiles, and it wouldn't let me. So next month, you gotta re-enroll all over again because it won't let me reactivate the profile. They got like a old glitch going on back there. All right, so today's quick conversation is love a reflection? This is interesting. I've been pondering this for a minute, like years, right? And you hear two things. You hear whatever you are experiencing in your life, whether it's love or not, it don't matter, is a reflection of you. Right? Now, this used to get at me a little bit. It used to bother me a little bit. Because it's like, you got on one side, you in your zen, you in your peace, you doing your thing. And there is some things that you just ain't with, that a person in your life is coming up with some things that could represent the old you. You know what I mean? It's really not a reflection of who you currently are. And then you also have to take in consideration a person's free will. Right? So I really couldn't swallow the pill in totality that this person who is getting on my nerve, who is irking me, is a reflection of me. Now, maybe we need to put some type of amendments on this, because it's the saying of what goes around comes around, and maybe we aren't the judge per se of when that old action, that old us who did reflect this current state, is going to catch back up with us. So maybe that's what it is, right? But it's damn sure not a mirror of who I am right now. Right? So maybe there just needs to be an amendment to it. Because it's almost been said in the vein as if the person is only appearing in our reality as a reflection of who we are, as if that person don't have their own free will in the core and is just on some BS, right? So I've just pondered it and looked at it, So then let's progress the conversation into relationships. Is the person a reflection of who I am? Because there's you can get in relationships, man, and we all have been in them, where there is, at some point in time, all the relationships that we were in the past, there was obviously some type of disconnect that appeared that says, you know what, we can no longer be, we have to sever this relationship. There was a disconnect. So is the person a reflection of me? It's just a question. Is the person a reflection of me? Because I want to have whatever I want to have. So what about when the Dalai Lama, or let's just say someone who has definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, has acquired some type of high state of being? We can let's go spiritual and physical. Let's take the Dalai Lama on the spiritual aspect, but everybody in the audience ain't on his level, ain't nowhere near his level, right? You got all kind of people in the audience that's going through tribulations. You got a wealthy person, right, who's teaching people how to become wealthy, and everybody in the crowd ain't wealthy. So are these poor people or non-wealthy people in the crowd, are they a reflection of who the wealthy person is right now? Hell no, we can't say that. You see? So we got to learn how to discern that particular aspect of the reflection or the mirror. Okay? So then again, here's the question. Is love a reflection, or what the title was going to be, or compatibility? At what point do we put compatibility in the mix? That's a question. Because when you look at this whole thing, and it's like, well, I mean, come on, man, some of this stuff is just bogus. A person is not the reflection. Like, they got habits, right? You hear this where, you know, a person got some habits and they doing some things, and whatever you see that you don't like, that's a reflection of who you are. You don't like it because it's a reflection of you. Like I hear that, but I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Like, if I come over your house and you got roaches, like that's a reflection of me. How? Like, I don't rock with roaches. Like, I don't. Like, that's a reflection of me though. Like, stop. When do we, like, see this new age stuff, man? This shit gets misconstrued easily. All right, peace, Ernest. It gets misconstrued real easy. So let's get into this love thing, man. Reflection or compatibility, or is love a reflection of compatibility? Okay, that's really what it is. Things are a reflection of compatibility, man. It's not necessarily a reflection of who you are. You know what I mean? Because again, you got millionaire teachers teaching people how to get money, and that's not a reflection of who he is based off the audience being poor and got their money up. Like, that's not a reflection of who that person is, right? And so I think there's two ways to look at this thing, because I look at everything that happens in my reality, and then I introspect and I ask that question: is it a reflection of me, past or present? I should go quantum and be like, is my future self gonna do some shit that's warranting this? But keep it simple: past or present. And if I've ever done it in the past, I've ever been bogus on the past on something that I don't like right now. Meaning, in my teenage years, masked up, pulled a robbery. Less than 10 years later, maybe a decade later, They mashed up, pistol out, give it up. I get robbed. So it happened what we will call in the future. Right? It happened in the future. And so, is it a reflection of me? Yeah, it's a reflection. But it's a reflection over what we would call time. It's a reflection over time. I've done it before. Reflects me. So therefore, what goes around comes around. I'm going to take that. It's all to the good. I understand that. That issue is resolved. I can't carry no gripe about it. I can't be on payback about it. Because I'm conscientious enough, even at that state, to understand that shit. Nigga, that's part of the game. You've done it. So it's love or reflection. So even in the aspect of love, right? I had a great conversation today. And we were talking about marriage and relationships. And if you're in a relationship, well, let me back up, because I noticed this in relationships. Two people are not on the same page. And oftentimes when we're dealing with information, one person is in the information, what we would call the Sagittarius principle, higher learning, philosophy, the expansion of consciousness, and the other person's not in it. So let's say one person that's in, they have a desired goal. They're studying information, they have a desired goal, but they have not yet realized that goal yet. And then the partner is not into the information, and the partner is really sitting back, observing and just watching. And even though they're observing and watching and not participating, they also may be giving your ass some flack about it. You're listening to Ampu too much. You always listening to Minister Jude too much. You always reading these books and watching whatever they do. Just maybe giving you some flack. But you have not yet attained the goal that is supposed to make you a better person. In some shape, form, and fashion, you're consciously going through the portal to become better. So you haven't yet got there yet. So then the logical question I'm going to ask is, can we chastise the other person who is not going through the portal where we ourselves have not yet obtained the goal of transformation to be a living example of what going through the portal looks like? It's just a question. It's just a question. Right? Just a question. So now, here's something that's a little interesting. If, let's say money, because money is always a vital topic inside of love unions, finances. Now let's just say financially, you ain't got your shit together. Yeah, you may, like we live it. The bills is paid, whoop-de-doo. You know, we got food to eat, whoop-de-doo. Like, you know, the necessities is covered, but there ain't no luxury. There ain't no prosperity. There ain't no abundance. There ain't no abundance. Hold on. I'm getting a call. All right, sorry about that. I had a call come in, right? So there's no abundance. There's no prosperity that's there, right? So if you don't have your shit together. You ain't achieved that goal. And I understand that we all want the partner to go to the goal with us because we see it. Is it fair? It's just a question. Is it fair to cast, for lack of a better word, judgment on the one that is not going through the portal? It's just a question. Because you ain't got the goal. You ain't got the goal. Alright? So Red said hell yeah, but hell no. Right? And that's the beauty of this thing, because it's both yes and no at the same time. So then there's something just flat out called compatibility. Like, man, listen, this shit, I clearly want to go here. I can remember Grant always tells this story that when he was married, he lived across the street from the house that was on the beach. He wasn't on the beach, he was across the street from the houses on the beach, and he wanted to live in the house on the beach. And his then wife was like, we're fine right here. And that was the catalyst for him. Let him tell it. That was the catalyst that said, man, no, this ain't. I clearly want more. And then he said they divorced. And he ended up buying a house across the street. Because he wanted more, and it was just incompatibility. So incompatible things do happen. See, in this thing, and I'm glad you said that, Red, yes, hell yeah, and no, because what happens in this quantum conundrum, this whole place is an oxymoron. It's a complete just oxymoron. And it's the greatest illusion that has ever existed is the earthly reality and looking outside. And what I mean by that is, I like to give the examples of, like, the moon is the best thing that you can observe in nature that shows you that this thing is based off perception. Because 1 minute, man, it looked like the moon is full and you can see all of it. And then a couple days, 7 days after the full moon, you can only see the left side of the moon and you can't see the right side of the moon. And then it disappears in another 7 days where you can't see it at all because it's close to the sun. And then 7 days after that, you start to see the right side of the moon, but you can't see the left side of it. Mike, it shows you that this place is definitely the place of illusion, without a shadow of a doubt. So you would have a reflection of something that you were in the past. You may have a reflection where you like, listen, man, I know some good people, like, just was never about that kind of life at all. But somehow it's the classic, the good girl likes the bad boy type of thing. Like, they ain't never been about that life. But then we can't exclude the fact that you have past lives too. I think I'm gonna get into that this year. Really crack this thing on past lives. That's some real shit. That's some real phenomenon. You know what I mean? Like, you living out something from the past, right? And so then you have reflections of that. Then you got, in this lifetime, you got reflections of where you just changed and you ain't a part of that. And then now that event is coming back, what goes around comes around type of thing. And it's something that you cast out a long time ago. And then you have some things that you are, things that you attracting immediately that is a pure reflection of who you are right then and now. So the thing is, which part of the reflection, like what the reflection has a timeline, and we got to understand what's the timeline of the reflection. So when they say that you experience, y'all, brother, it's just a reflection of you. It may not, and we don't vibe with it, it's because it's not a reflection of who I am right now. This is something that was the old me. You know what I mean? This is a retrograde type of reflection, because that's real, right? These retrogrades happen, and you start getting these old people pop up. You ain't heard from a long time. You know what I'm saying? So you got throwbacks, reflections. And so is love a reflection? Yeah, it's a reflection, but a reflection of what particular point in your own evolution? That's the question. Yeah, it's all a reflection. Cool, no problem. But a reflection of what point of me in my own timeline of evolution? That's the question right there. All right? All right? All right, would you say you're getting reflections of your mama and daddy crazy? Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Gonna be the first ones. The main ones we'd be starting to get. Alright. So then you just got compatibility. But the question is, what determines compatibility? Conscious agreement. Let's having this conversation today as well. And I asked in my mentor program on the astro side, I asked, how do you square a circle? In other words, how do you rectify a problem? It's negative energy. We can identify negative energy, right? I give you an example of negative energy. Do you know if you're born with Mars and Leo, and I got Mars in Aquarius, and they're like precisely direct opposite one another, that can produce friction in a fight, physical fights. So I may want to be careful with this relationship, or may not even like that relationship, because that kind of energy is a bang. Like, I see life going this way, and you see life coming my way, and we clash at each other, and the only thing that can separate that is understanding that within the circle, that centerpiece goal is just that. It's the goal in the center. So we're not colliding into each other. We're both saying, I'm going to attack it from this angle, I'm going to attack it from this angle, and I meet you there. Okay? So, cosmically speaking, that's a no-no. That's a marker that I don't really play with. I don't like that marker. Mars opposite Mars. That's some friction. That's really some old school. That's some old school abuse that's playing out now in this form that has to undergo something else now, which is really supposed to be the love factor, the peace factor, so you can dissolve the ongoing cycle of the karma, the negative karma. But there's a way to measure compatibility. Real talk. This is what we got to get on. We can successfully measure compatibility now by understanding cosmic forces, or where they were at when they were born. Because if you're going to tell me that the cosmos is a mirror of myself, right, then bam, I should be able to do that. What do you say? It can't be harmonious of the two are highly sexual with each other. Oh no, it can be. It can be great passion. Again, there's some type of centerpiece that's there that's creating greatness, because all energies, and that's a good question, all energies have a duality. They all have a negative side and they all have a positive side. That's a fact. And it's with all of them, you have to be conscientious of, okay, what is it that I want to do here? You know what I mean? So in the case of conflict, what is the resolution plan? So it don't go there. Because I know with that placement, it can easily go there. But then I also know with that placement, like you pointed out, that, you know, that's very passionate. That's that I was gonna say something raunchy, but that's very passionate, right? Mars opposite Mars, so for sure. So the laws of compatibility, and see, let's back up. Let's look at that. What determines the positive or negative? Answer, your choice. That's what determines the positive or the negative. The energies are just making subtle suggestions. It's hot outside today. You may want to wear shorts and not a sweatsuit. It's just a suggestion. I can do what I want to do, right? So the decisions that we make determines what polarity we're activating. Once activated, that gets stored not just in your own memory, not just on October the 6th, it also gets stored in what we call Akash space. For real, for real. It gets stored in space. What you call outer space, based upon where, you know, the event happened at. This was here, it's like a birthday. Each event has a birthday. Oh, every fight and quarrel that you ever got into has a birthday. No different than your anniversary that you celebrate. No different than your birthday that you celebrate. Every fight and quarrel has its own cosmic, energetic birthday. Yes, it does. Yep. Again, this is why in the Hermetic science it was said the Hermetic couple, the couple that's up on knowledge, is very, very careful not to have fights and quarrels. Because they know that energy is vibration. Peace, God. And that vibration takes on its own, the next law, rhythm to and fro of itself. Yes, it does. And it will be damn near impossible to neutralize it. You say repeat it for those in the back. Which part? All right. So, what up, Cody Cole? What about Venus conjunct Mars in synastry? Oh man, so that's you know, Venus and Mars. If you want to know who like each other, if you want to know who you loving, who you want to be, all that, like who like, it's that marker right there. Venus on Mars is the prince. Mars is the young warrior. Venus is the princess, the goddess. So when they're in the same position in space, when two people meet, it's like this magnetic attraction. That's what it is. So that's good, because Mars is really searching for her. His whole movement through the solar system, the knight wants to become the king one day. Right? The knight is going out to conquer because one day he's going to have his own kingdom. So he's looking for his princess, which is Venus. Okay? So when these two are in the same position in relationships, don't matter the gender of the relationship, it's energy. But if it is in a relationship in which you can tell the genders, then it's a flow. And if this is the woman's Mars on the man's Venus, then we're about to set ourselves up for a role reversal. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as the energy is positive. In this case, I would call it positive because they're both in the same area of space. But it's your masculine activating his feminine. And when that happens, then it's like a woman is an entrepreneur. So you take who I consider Cameron's ex, Juju. Like Juju a go-getter. You know what I mean? Like busy realtor, books, like hosting, like she a go-getter. So if her masculine energy is on my feminine energy and we in a relationship, then that represents that maybe I need to be supportive. So I'm okay with that. I can nurture that. I can be at the booth selling the products, but all of the products, she's the brand and she's the name, but I can push it. I'm the nurturer. So I always refer to Army Wives. If y'all didn't watch Army Wives, you're slipping. Army Wives was all about energetic relationship dynamics. And you saw the role reversal with the black couple, the only black couple. Joan, who wanted to be, she was lieutenant, and she was a colonel, and she wanted to advance her military career. And the husband was a psychiatrist who was always walking around with the baby. And the baby didn't want to go to mommy because mommy was never home because mommy was in the military. So traditionally speaking, the military was masculine, but the roles were reversed. This was like a beautiful, whether they knew it or not, they was explaining energetic dynamics of relationships, okay? Mars on Pluto is super duper 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 passionate. Gotta be, that's an energy that can easily turn into violence and possession and control. But it is a very powerful energy that represents power. They both anciently ruled Scorpio. So they represent the Scorpion frequency of joint financing, sharing, goals, transmutation, right? So you want to have goals. Everybody want to have goals anyway, but when Mars is involved, you got to have goals because this nigga will beat you up if you don't. And if he's out of pocket, he's the bad dog that bites and tears up shit until you let him outside and throw the ball a couple times. Then you can leave him out all day until you come home and stop tearing up the house because he has a physical expression of that energy. Very important to understand that. All right. Oh, my signal going out. Man, Sprint sucks. All right. So yeah, the arguing part. If you talk about the arguing part, Sarah, it was the Hermetic couple is said to be extremely careful because each argument has its own birthday. The date that you're beefing, all of that energy. Come on, man, we can feel energy, man. You can walk in the house and feel like, oh shit, they beefing. The kids can feel it like it's tension. That's energy. But we got to understand that the earth is in space. So you're exuding energy off into space because you're in space. So therefore, right? So therefore, then that space says, hey, I'm recording this. You got in an argument on 9/11? Okay, cool. I'm recording this. And then what happens is when another planetary body gets in the same region of space, it ain't even got to be the same region of space. It can be opposite that region. You know, it activates that vibrational energy that you put right there. So then the shit reverberates back into your reality, and then all of a sudden you got to move today. You're feeling some type of way today. And now this person has said something that just kind of ticked you off, but it's really the vibration that you cast out from a while ago that's trying to take form again. It needs life. It needs to manifest itself to validate its existence. It's your demonic child. Your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you got it, for sure. You know what I mean? Yeah. Some folks like to argue, you know, that's what it is. You do. So is love a reflection? Yes. But it's not necessarily a reflection of who you currently are. You know how many actions that we didn't put out? You know how many thoughts we think a day? You know how much we didn't cast out that this incoming signal is shit. I don't know how long ago I broadcasted that signal. You know what I mean? It's just now coming back around. Certain seeds grow faster than other ones in nature. And so it is with the things that we think about. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's a reflection, but it may not be a reflection in quote unquote present time. The beauty is we have a way to measure compatibility. The beauty is the true and living God is inside of us. The beauty is no zodiac sign controls us, no planet controls us. The beauty is that we can consciously make an agreement to live my best life, and then we can constantly stay in that zone. The beauty is we can consciously come up with what I call a CRP, a conflict resolution plan. And we don't never ever have to take it there because we're conscientious enough that we don't want to have those kind of vibes because they take on a life form of themselves. And the beautiful thing, it ain't really beautiful, but it's funny, you never know when it's going to come back and materialize. And the best way to know, and this is what I like about this science of the astro game, over the mental game in one comparison, and only in this dynamic right here, because mentalism is all of it. Remember the ancient Hermetic laws gave you these 7 principles, but the first 2 was, one is mentalism. Everything is mental. Cool, no problem. But the second one was dope. It's my favorite one. The law of correspondence. You should be able to prove that, and that's where all the other laws is really just different variations of the law of correspondence, which are all the variation of the law of mentalism. Rhythm, polarity, gender, cause and effect, right? These things, vibration, these things. See, raise your hand, and you on some Edgar Casey shit, and that's cool. But raise your hand if you can go up into the future of 2019 and pinpoint the exact days with your mind that your significant other, that y'all gonna be riffing with each other. See, a lot of us, that mental faculty is not there. So what this science allows us to do is study the law of correspondence, where we just say, hey, oh, the external universe, i.e. solar system, is a reflection of our own potentiality of 2 thoughts. Polarity, remember? Good, passionate Mars, or angry, I want to fight you Mars. I can measure that and say, yo, from now until such and such, Mars is in Aquarius. Oh, I'm an Aquarius. So what that mean for you? Oh, okay. Then I need to negate XYZ, and I need to do XYZ. I'd rather tap into it this way, because I can go up into the future by using this particular science now. My mind is not clear enough and sharp enough to go into the future and pinpoint a length of time, a pocket of time that says, yo, I'm more capable or more likely to do XYZ within this time span. So my laws of compatibility can be measured. That's dope. That's dope. Because if our life is mathematical, heartbeats and brain waves and breathing patterns and blood pressure patterns, and if that changes, states of consciousness change when you slow down your breathing, and you got high blood pressure if your heart beats too many times over, you're like, it can all be measured now. We know that. So then that means that, okay, well shit, my love can be measured. It can be measured. Alright? So what that say, right? But I can't share with these reflect, even though I don't want to be lonely, because I'm seeing these personally dark memories as people I know, like I could change their world, and they know it too. Okay. Okay. You know. Right, you may not can't share with them. It's totally up to you. The tarot shows us some interesting symbology. The magician is the one who can take all of the elements. Notice he got a sword, which represents air, communication. He got a coin, which is earthly matters, moolah, baby. He got a cup, which is water, which is emotions, right? And he got a wand, which is fire, creativity. He has all of these 4 elements at his disposal, the magician. And his job is to alchemize all of the energy. That's what makes you the magician. That's you. You're every aspect of all of the signs, every tarot card, because the tarot card is just a reflection of the sign. Okay? And all of these energies is ultimately inside of you anyway, when you understand the old science of Arathro mathematics. Hey, peace, hidden. You know what I'm saying? So if Leo rules the heart in the circulation system, because the heart rules the circulatory system, in the spine, and Virgo rules the intestines, and Libra is the kidneys, and, you know what I'm saying? I can go on and on to the break of dawn. Then all of these energies are inside of you. These bodily systems are corresponding to signs, man. You know what I mean? And so then all of the signs are in you, irregardless to the predominant energy of your sign. You just happen to express that one more predominantly. But they're all inside of you and make up the whole piece of the cosmic man and the cosmic woman, which is you. So you want to know my sign? Like Reverend Ike said, the dollar sign is my sign. That's my sign. The dollar sign. Right? So how do we understand that we are all of those things? But since we are predominantly more of Scorpio because you're Scorpio, Aquarius because you're Aquarius, then the truth of the matter is you will start to see reality from that particular angular perception. All of this whole reality is based off angular perceptions when you understand the zodiac. I want you to imagine a circle, but not a vertical circle, a horizontal circle like the universe. I want you to imagine that you are God, and you're looking at creation, and like if you type in the solar system and Google image that, you're God looking at your creation, and you understand that the laws of motion is going around in what appears what we call in a horizontal circle. We don't see reality as a vertical reality because things will be upside down based off our perception. So we present reality on a horizontal plane and it's going in a circle. This circle is 365 days. So every day on the circle is a degree within the circle, okay? We just so happen to divide this circle into 12 even regions of space. That's what we did, okay? So we're all a part of this circle. And we go to the wall clock rendition, although it appears vertical, but just to get some basic understanding of it, we're all seeing reality from our celestial station. That's what's happening. Okay? And so, the sun is always in the middle because everything is revolving around the sun. So the sun is the midpoint. It's in the middle of the circle. Okay? So now let's put it on a 2D model, the wall clock. The pin in the middle that holds the two hands together, the pin in the middle is the sun. So when we start at the top, the 12th sign, Pisces, the way that you see the world, you're looking out, the sun's in the middle, but behind that is Virgo. So from your perception, the sun will appear in front of Virgo from your perception. Okay? How you're looking out into the world. So for you, you see reality, your straight path for reality is 12 to 6. That's your viewpoint. You don't have to look right. You don't have to look left. Your straight blinders viewpoint is 12 to 6. Well, that person that's at 3 o'clock, Gemini, notice that they're halfway around the circle and they see reality on a horizontal plane. On this 2D model, 12 to 6 is vertical. But 3 to 9 is horizontal. We see reality totally different. I see it on this plane, you see it on that plane, and that forms a cross. And when the cross meets, it forms this thing called a square, a 90-degree angle. Okay? Because we see reality totally. See, this is what I'm saying about this thing being an oxymoron. The real opposition is not the one that's opposing you, that sees reality just like you, but they're going in the opposite direction of you. Like 12 and 6 o'clock, you're leaving 12 o'clock, coming to 6. You're leaving 6, going to 12. In my mind, that's not opposition. Opposition is, I'm at 12 o'clock coming on a vertical plane, and you at 3 o'clock going on a horizontal plane. Man, we ain't even going on the same plane. That's weird to me. Take it to the corner of a room. Every corner in a room, guaranteed, you're going to have a east-west wall, and you're going to have a north-south wall. And they're going to meet at a corner. And when they meet at that corner, and you follow the trace of the wall, you're going in a total opposite direction. But in our reality, we say opposite east is west, and I totally get it. But I'm looking at it like, shit, the real friction is a square. But see, that's why in Freemasonry, the master, the worshipful master, he wears this emblem called a square around his neck. That's his jewel of office. He wears the square. So when you hear this saying, I'm standing on my square, man, you really supposed to have a cosmic understanding of what this square represents, man. For real, for real. Right? So it can be measured. It can be measured. Love, compatibility can be measured. It can be measured. So is it a reflection? Yep, it's a reflection. But I want to say this to you. I want you to know that you got to make the self-assessment. Can you give the partner a pass when you yourself have not got off your ass? No, for real. No, but can you give your partner a pass when you yourself have not yet obtained the goal? Especially as it pertains to finances. Right? Especially as it pertains to finances, man. If you have not changed or demonstrated that you can secure the bag, like DJ Khaled say, secure the bag. You haven't secured the bag. In fact, your report card financially says F, meaning $0 to $999 is what you got. Even if you got a D, $1,000 to $9,999, because that ain't no money. If you at an F and a D, you ain't got no paper, and money is the issue, and you got an idea of how you want to go get it. I'm just asking the question. If you haven't realized it yet, can you cast a judgment at this particular point? Because you should be able to live by example. It's just a question. But in my conversation today, I was told, and I totally agree. But yeah, it takes action and activity. And when you don't have the action, the activity, of the partner, then that's creating an issue. And that's like power braking. Remember when we used to power brake? If you got a fast car, you keep your foot on the brake and the gas at the same time. So the car ain't going nowhere, but the wheels, back in the day, the back wheels, rear wheel drive is spinning and you're making the smoke. You know what I'm saying? You're power braking. So you're making all this noise, but you ain't really going nowhere because your partner got their foot on the brake and you got your foot on the gas. Something to think about. Just something to think about, man. Alright? 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 So what if you got an A in finances but an F in person? Man, if you got an A in finances, an A is $1 million and more. Bump relationships. Call me. I need help. I want to get right there where you at if you got an A. And I'm just grading the finances based off this logical, mathematical base 10 system. $0 to 999 is an F. $1,000 to 9,999 is a D. $10,000 to $99,999.99 is a C. $100K to 999,000 is a B. And then 1 million is an A plus all the way on up, because now you're about to become a billionaire if you got 999 million, right? And so I mean, if the but to answer that question though, if your money is good in the relationship, because that exists, right? And let's be real, you got people who are wealthy but they're not happy in relationships. You know what I mean? Wealthy people then divorce and all that shit. And that's what I'm saying too. Like, is that a mirror? You know what I mean? That's how you know, like, the mirror thing is not quote unquote a real-time mirror. It's not a real-time reflection. It's not. It can't be. All right? So my answer to that will be, I mean, it's just, it's almost like a simple analysis of, okay, well, shit. Can I or can I not? Can I endure? Is it like how important or how high is the agitation? Is it something that like I can live without? It's not a breakable. It's not one of those things that, you know, that makes me want to say the end. It's not one of those things. You know what I mean? So that's on a personal note. You know what I mean? That's a personal assessment. And say, oh shit, no, I got some non-negotiables. If it's not a non-negotiable that's getting broken here, then hey, I'm good, right? So only you can be the judge of that. You know what I mean? I studied wrong, exactly what I just working on everything. Hey, that's what's up, Sankofa, man. You know what I'm saying? So is it a reflection? Yes, love is a reflection, but it's not quote unquote a real-time reflection all the time. All the time. It's not that, man. This thing of past, present, and future, man, this shit is happening all at once simultaneously, man. Like, that statement that I just said, even that I just said, and even that I just said, that's in the past now. But today is the present that you heard it. And tomorrow, or the next statement that you just heard, statement, that's now the past, but it was just the present, was the future. All of this shit is happening simultaneously. So love's a reflection. You have to determine, is it past or present? And I'm not going to go into the future, because if you get into punishment early, it's a whole nother conversation, man. For real. Because that can happen. You nasty thing, you. That can happen. Where you can get, you know, real talk. You can get punished for what you gonna do. It's a scripture that talks about that. You get punished for what you gonna do. So I know you're gonna do it. I know you're gonna do it. So since you're gonna do it, let me go ahead and give it to you early, because I know you're gonna do it. That happens, man. That happens. And I always say this, the best study in consciousness, I don't know, man, I'm telling you, absolutely by far, my fave is that study on retroactive prayer. If you're new to it, Google it. It's going to pop up on Wiki. Dr. Leonard Diovici, retroactive prayer, man. Woo-wee! You want to talk about consciousness. The mind, the stream of energy of thought. Woo-wee! Man. Nothing outdoes that one. Nothing. Because you had, this was like, started in 1990. They had 3,300 and I want to say 93 patients that they were going to put in the study. And within that group, some people gonna get prayed for, and the rest of them, you ain't gonna get prayed for. And they're gonna classify the prayer in 3 categories. How fast you recover, how fast you go home, and the death rate. The death rate is slightly lower than the ones who got prayed for. The ones who got prayed for went home faster. The ones who got prayed for recovered faster. Since 1990. All right? I think 1990 to 96. The kicker is they didn't get prayed for until the year 2000. Which means the people who were on the list in 1990 was going to get prayed for 10 years in the future, but got better in the quote-unquote past, which is really their present. And the people, let's just say at 96, the last year of the study, was going to get prayed for 4 years in the future, which is really their present, which became their past. So something, God, consciousness, something knew they were going to get prayed for. And that group got better in the present and past because of what you was going to do in the future. This is why you know you can't affect the past. The future that wasn't even here yet had an effect on the present / past. Yes, it has been proven. So when Einstein and them was talking about it, the past is just uncertain as the future and all of that stuff, and you can affect the past. It's been done, man. That's why Jew came out with that technique called the positron pass. Vicious. Vicious. I got a banging testimonial I got yesterday for helping somebody with that thing. I'm going to share it with y'all later. Man, this thing is like, the mind is non-local. See, if that's the thing. See, consciousness is non-local. It's just not in me. It's in me, it's in this plant, it's in the soap, it's in the paper towel, it's in the glass. Everything has atomic structure, atomic anatomy. Every single thing. Every single thing that you can think of in creation has intelligence because it has atoms. But it's not stuck to that particular location. It's just everywhere. It's in everything. So it's everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Because once you say it's just right there, well, it's not just right there. It's there, but it's also there. This is why you would never find God, but you will see God in everything. at the same time. Because the moment that I can see that which I call God, there's going to be something that is underneath the veil, that is the intelligence that is making the physical seen. So then, as we're taught, nothing is more superior than the G-force. So the moment that I say that that is it, there's an invisible consciousness that is making that exist. So you will always, always keep going to the next level and keep on going and going and going and going forever. So therefore, we just conclude all is mental. Leave it simple. Once you can suffering, when you can truly come into that understanding. Is love a reflection? Yes. The question is, what timeline of reflection? That's the question. All right. Got a question for me? Shoot it before we wrap it up, man. I just wanted to share that with y'all real fast. Is love a reflection? I'm gonna say yes. It is a reflection. Love is a reflection. Hold that. Ask me a question. I'm gonna come right back. The old man got a potty. All right. What y'all got for me, man? What you got? What you got? You got a question? Shoot it for me. If you got a question, man, go ahead and ask it. Saturdays, I'm about to start doing something totally free. Right here on YouTube, we're gonna put together. I want to put together a Saturday morning success group where we talk about, you know, we just talk about the success, man, for real. You know, I had took to Facebook and I had put that report card out, and I'm like, you know, be honest, make an assessment on yourself as far as the amount of liquid cash that you got. If you got it tied into something, you got it. It's just, it's working for you, which is the whole purpose, right? And, you know, a lot of people was just admitting it, like they had an F, which the F grade is $0 to $999. You don't even got $1,000 in your pocket. You know what I mean? And the challenge that I want to put forth, because I know consciousness is real, is can we put our mind on increasing our financial well-being? So I think that Saturday mornings is a perfect time for us to get together and get into this groove of mental prosperity, and highlight some physical successes, some physical things to do, and just share to, you know, build this thing up and get out of that F class and come on up into, you know, some passing grades here. You know what I mean? Because you don't like when your children come home with F's and D's. You know, some of us probably don't even like C's because it's just average. But our financial report card needs to be in better condition. And so we need to challenge ourselves, and I'm willing to be the guinea pig. I'm willing to be that lamb to say, fuck it. I'll use this platform right here, and let's talk about it, and let's just keep hammering it out every single week until we start seeing some results. and moving on up and getting to this place. Because I know it's going to work. We already know it as far as prescribing people individual tools of success, and they obtain it. I just feel like it needs to be a constant congregation of where we can get together and we can, you know, really share this energy and make it happen. You know what I mean? And get practical. You know what I mean? Because we live on the earth plane. And I just really want to challenge ourselves to use the power of our mind with the power of our vehicles, whether it be our jobs or whether it be our whatever our financial endeavors are, to increase in these areas where it turns out to be financial increase. All right. Reverend Ike said it. We're going to do a lot of Reverend Ike quotes up in the beginning. A lot of us may have money rejection complex, MRC, money rejection complex. You'd be amazed how the subconscious programming of our failures financially is so deep inside of us that we do not even realize that we're performing, thinking, and speaking in a poverty manner. Real talk. Seriously. We didn't figure out a way to change that. Even if it's a simple concept of saying spending money. Reverend Ike said, never say you're spending money. Right? Because we know that there's an emotion that comes with that. There's a thought that produces a chemical. That's an emotion. One that's angry, upset, of a low, dense, thick vibe that talks about that money that's spent. That is so heavy that we're casting a spell on ourselves, against ourselves, from our belief of our lack that we currently have when we say it, when we're spending the money. Like everything is upside down. For real. I'm telling you. I like to ask questions and pose questions, so I'll put questions out there in the form of math. Ooh, the sharecropper complex. Ooh-wee. You know, I think, what was that question? We had, man, what was the numbers that was involved? We was dealing with a question. Oh, bought a property for $50 million. The property's on sale for $50 million. You only put $15 million down. How much do you have to sell the property for to make 100% return, to double your money? To match the money, get your money back, and then that money that you put out, it comes right back. So then how much money do you have, how much do you have to sell the property for? And a lot of people are like, 100 million, duh. Like, you bought it for 50, you have to sell it for 100. And that was the wrong answer. Because you ain't buy it for 50. So that kind of, those things right there, like when I put those questions out, like we gotta fine tune this thing. So let me see something here. You say? Ayana just said we may not even be aware, unconscious, don't even realize. So how do we become aware of something we may not even be aware? Oh man, so well, here's the thing. That's a good question. How do we become aware of something we may not even be aware of. You have to first start observing your own behavior. You have to become aware of your own awareness. It's called metacognition. Start being aware that you are observing yourself. So I'm always in this state of consciousness. Like I don't even exist in no other state. I'm not bullcrapping. I don't exist in another state. I'm always aware that I'm observing myself. And you have to, like, even when the input comes in, somebody saying something, I'm just watching. I'm just watching the G-force. I'm always constantly got my eye on it. The all-seeing eye is me. That's you. That's the indwelling spirit is the all-seeing eye. That's your thalamus gland that's processing all stimuli to your senses, all besides smell, as they say. Okay? And so the all-seeing eye is the thalamus gland in your brain that is processing what you hear, what you see, what's touching you, what you tasting. Okay? That has to be you making a conscious effort of you just observing and watching yourself. Why do you have the urge to do X, Y, Z? Watch yourself, and then you become aware of everything. So you become aware by just start making it a point to observe yourself. All right? So what you say? Observe ourselves for the, oh, hell yeah. Observe yourself. So the thing is with money, we got to learn some money things though. Because we may, see that's the thing, you watching it, but you think it's right. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I remember we was having a conversation one time, it's like, man, I'm good with money. First of all, if you don't have no money, how are you good with money? Meaning, like, just because we're responsible, I can pay my bills and I can do all that. But shit, I'm not, do that mean I'm good with money? Because I don't have it, right? So that, no, that's not, you're horrible with money. Let's be real. You don't even know how to, there's 3 steps to money. Making the money, saving the money, then multiplying the money. So if you just make enough to do what you're doing with it, or let's say we really find out that you make money and you also have enough to save, but you ain't been saving because you just haven't been. Because you think since you ain't splurging on luxury stuff that you ain't splurging, but we find out that, oh, nigga, you misallocating the funds because you need to be putting this up. You don't know how much you got left over. You just guesstimating because you feel like, well, shit, I'm just doing my regular stuff that I do. You know what I mean? Now you're not good with money. So just because you know how to take care of the business, surviving don't make you good with money. You don't have it, and you don't know how to multiply it. And your financial report card is an F or a D. You're failing. You're not even at average. You're failing. Right? So you're not good with money. So when it comes to the money thing, the money thing, that's why we're going to get into this whole thing. You got to watch yourself, but you got to do things differently. So a lot of people, when they get money, they want, oh, I'm going to pay the debt. Wrong. You ain't been paying the debt. The debt that's against you is not stopping you from living. A lot of people, when they get their income tax, what they do? They spend it on the rent. Why are you doing that? When you've been paying the rent for 11 straight months, some other way, your job, however you've been paying it, then all of a sudden you got the audacity to pay the rent with your check because it came early. You got your income tax before you got your paycheck that pays the rent. But I bet you this, you did not reimburse yourself from the paycheck to come back over here. You didn't do that. You just living life and say, yo, I need this, I need X, Y, Z. I don't have enough, I'm just living. And you caught in this frantic mode of living, not knowing that you really have enough money that you can't be stacking. That will turn into something else. You see what I'm saying? So with the money thing, it's totally wrong. It's totally wrong. Totally wrong. So there's just some things you can observe yourself, but then you got to question yourself, like, is this the right thing to do? Because I've been doing this, and this shit is wrong, and that's why I got to give myself this score. This is not getting me to the next level. You see what I'm saying? So it got to be something else. All right, Cody Cole, what you say you had? How important is compatible moons? Aha, it's funny. We was talking about that today. Moon sextile, moon synastry, female moon, trine male sun. Female moon trine the male sun by degree. All right, so that's 2 questions. All right. So I had asked one of the mentees today. I said, and her name's Nicole too. I'm like, what's your favorite synastry alignment that you're looking for in relationships? Synastry means the comparison of 2 people when you're looking at their energy, their planets when they were born. And she was like, I love moon on moon. I like moon compatibility. So, okay, cool. Moon compatibility on the sextile, you got to remember the law of the sextile wants you to have an opportunity. The sextile is an opportunity. Usually by sign placement, these zodiac signs are in agreement with one another. So if it's in the earth sign, then the other person is going to have it in a water sign. And the earth is like a plant and it needs water to nourish it. Okay? If it's in a fire sign, then the other person has it in the air sign. And then fire absolutely needs oxygen to breathe. So this represents a great opportunity of harmony. And you got to seize the harmony. The practicality of understanding the energy, the element. Is it in the female gender of the earth and water? Because if it is, then the earth and water signs, earth wants physical success. And that needs to be defined by the parties involved. It wants practicality and it wants stability. That's your emotional connection. Water wants to express feelings. It wants to dwell or delve into spirituality, any shape, form, or fashion of it, whether it be religion or whether it be being able to really relate and express your most inner emotion. This is perfect for meditation, breathing together. The yin energy is my favorite energy because it's feminine. It's let's just hold hands. Let's go to the garden and sit down and hold hands. Let's go in nature and both hug a tree together. It's a very subtle but powerful, intimate, emotional connection when you're dealing with feminine energy, yin energy. It's Sedona. Sedona is for love. Sedona is not a loud place that you hear. It's subtle. It's Mount Shasta. It's subtle. If it's fire and air, which is yang, then you absolutely, again, must have a goal, but you must be very active in pursuing the goal. Because yang energy wants to communicate and have ideas. It wants to write a book together. It wants to, let's go to the Bonner Brothers convention and let's vend together. Let's shout out to the world together. Let's rep together. It's the family hustle. You know what I mean? It's doing it together. And it's energetic. It's exercising together, working out together. And to truly be the magician, you want to a degree incorporate the 2 genders, male and female. The masculine, the workout, the sweat, the ambition towards the goals, the career-orientated things and such. And then the feminine connection on the meditation, the prayer, the spiritual aspect of connecting with one another. What couples absolutely need to learn to do in this day and time, we just can't sleep together and go about our day. We truly have to learn how to merge the soul. So it becomes imperative that at some point that we learn how to do breathing exercises together, because we have to intertwine ourselves consciously, intertwine ourselves. so we can get on the same rhythm. Like you got a heartbeat, and your heartbeat is determined off of a breath rate. And if our breath rate can get to the same pulse, then we start to get on the same wavelength, because breath is via the mind is the conscious way of controlling states of consciousness. The moment that I say I'm tired and I decide to breathe slower, it changes my brainwave activity to a deeper state. And once I get into a deeper state, I'm more relaxed. And next thing you know, fat boy snoring. Right? But conscientiously enough together, we have to do this together so we can truly merge with one another. So it's like the medical ambulance, but it's two. It's two serpents going up the pole. And the pole we teach, that's your spine. So it's very beneficial for us to sit back to back, right? And allow the energy to circulate. Allow the energy to circulate. Oh, I'm sweating like a mud. Learn the energy, allow the energy to circulate. Crown, down the front, and back up. And y'all looping this energy together. Y'all creating what's known as the cosmic orbit in Taoism, where you're circulating energy. And you can be creative enough to do this by yourself and say, okay, babe, when we breathe in, let's imagine energy is coming up our spines, and then when we breathe out, it circulates around us and come back in. Then when we breathe in, it's coming up, breathe out, it's going down, right? Your mind is the ultimate composer of energy. The mind is the composer of energy. So when you have the moon in harmonious positions to each other, then you want to utilize that opportunity within this gender that is expressing itself, okay? So then that trine, moon on sun, it represents an ease. Again, see, all the trine is saying is that by sign placement on average, those are the same elements. So all of the fire signs, 3, they trine each other. Aries, Leo, Sag, right? They all trine each other. So this simply means, hey, the energetic expression represents, fire expression is, oh, creativity. Oh, I can't sit still. Let's create. Air is, hey, I want to create and I want to talk about it too. I want to write a book about it and I want to do a blog talk, and it's that. Earth is, I want to work it. I want to, you know what I mean? Water is, I want to sing it. I want to connect with it intimately. So it's easier for you guys to, you always got to take it back down to its energy. So once you know its energy, fire, air, earth, and water, and what the physical representation of what that looks like, meditation, spirituality, things like that, if it's water, then you invoke those principles by doing those things together, because the male and female energy, if you're looking at that trine, they are conducive to one another. It's easier for you to jump into that mode because the elements are the same. That's what that means. All right. What are my thoughts about, what'd you say, an artificial moon, the moon being artificial? Man, I don't know. I don't know what artificial really means when you say that. You know what I mean? Like, artificial as in, because it's there, so if we saying artificial, like, I'm not clear on that term or what that could mean because it's physically there. Was it always there? Probably not. It was definitely noted and said to be a part of some type of catastrophic event. But I know this. I'm not going to call it artificial, only because, man, we had a great session today, me and Nicole. Y'all, if this Astro Mentorship is the bomb diggy on a one-on-one tip, man, for real. The moon is a cosmic space-time accelerator, and I can't dwell on that too much because that's just one of my jewels, man. I just gotta keep it real. That's just one of my jewels. So is it artificial? And this is why I don't want to call it artificial. But I can understand duality and everything, and then I can call it artificial at the same time. Artificial in the sense that maybe it wasn't always there. Artificial in the sense that, as I said earlier, it takes on these different forms. Right now we see the left side of the moon. It's about to be a new moon. Then we're going to see the right side of the moon and not see the left. Then we're going to see a full moon. Right? So artificial in its phases. But me personally, I've studied women's menstrual cycles because I'm nosy. And what you call your period? I mark it and I'm watching the moon. And then I need to know when you come on your next period, because then I'm going to count the number of days from period to period. From start date to start date is all I need. I don't need to know how long you was on it. I don't need that. I just need the start date to start date. Right? And then within that, I need one more cycle so I can see if there's a mirror. Because the first time it came on, I don't know how long it's going to take for you to come on again. So when you come on again, and the moon is, and this is a real story, I studied one of my case studies, she was coming on her period when the moon was 17 degrees Virgo. Like clockwork. 17 degrees Virgo, her shit was coming on. Bam. So once I determined the pattern, the first time you come on 17 Virgo, I don't know when it's going to come on next. The second data I got, oh shit, it mirrors the first data. I can make a projection just off the second time. You're going to come on your period around here. Then when here it gets here, period came again. Bam, I got you. Got you plugged. So, is it artificial now? No. You see what I'm saying? So, I'm going to say no as a final answer. My thoughts of it being artificial, but I can kind of, to a degree, think I understand where they're coming from with that. All right? You're welcome, Komiko. So, Cancer and Virgo, are they compatible? Good question. But remember, the basics of compatibilities, you know, yes. But if y'all got Mars square Mars, or Mars opposite Mars, or, you know, you can have something that go against those and overrides that law. So yes, Cancer and Virgo, two signs away from each other. That's called a sextile. One is a water energy, Cancer home. Virgo is the earth energy of work. So they're compatible, but there could be other factors at work that produce incompatibility. So we want to be clear on that. So you just, you know, generally speaking, yes, but we need to look deeper. All right? Right. So the tantric communion is the key to the game, to expand consciousness. That's what tantra is, man. Just to expand it. All right. Samara Yahis. Hey, do y'all want to learn Hebrew? I got a flyer made. I'm thinking about teaching a Hebrew class. Let me know in the chat. It's going to be $99 for 4 weeks. I always do my 4-week classes. For 4 weeks, I promise you, I can teach you how to read Hebrew in 4 weeks. Just 4 weeks. Like, that's a challenge. In 4 weeks, I promise you that I can teach you how to read Hebrew. You're going to start off, obviously, with the alphabet. And you're going to know 40 words. And out of these 40 words, we're going to mix them up. And you're going to read over 100 sentences in just 4 weeks. Let me know in the chat. It's going to be called Hebrew, the language of prosperity. All right? Hey, Nicole, that's who I was talking to earlier. So when I'm going back in memory, I said I was having this conversation. That's her right there, Nicole Vader. So, Hebrew, the language of prosperity. Y'all down with it? $99, 4 weeks. I promise you I can show you how to read Hebrew. I'm like, you got to be a badass dude to be able to do that. I promise you though. Because there's only 22 letters in the alphabet, and we go from right to left, and you just got to remember the letters. So you're going to see it because the name of the letter is going to be right there. Aleph, Bet, Gamil, Daleth, Hey, Vav, Zayin, Ket, Tet, Yod, Kof, right? You got to just keep on going with it, right? So I may be rusty, and I got to come back off of it. What is it? Aleph, Bet, Gamil, Daleth, Hey, Vav, Zayin, Ket, Tet, Yod, Kof, Lamed, Mim, Nun, Ain. Was that 70? Ein, Setmek. What is it? I'm getting rusty. Pay is 80. Zadi, Kof, Reshin, Tau. There we go. Right? So once you know the alphabet, you got that, right? So then what happens is, let's say like week 1, well, week 1 is technically the alphabet. Week 2, I'm going to give you masculine nouns, because in Hebrew, the language of prosperity, like trust me, all of this stuff is related. The language center in the mind, the parietal lobe, is also responsible of dealing with money and numbers. So if you can expand the portion of the brain that deals with money through language, maybe you can expand your portion of getting money. Okay, so it's just it's a neurological thing. All right, and so the first week we get into masculine nouns. So the word for father is ab, A-B. Okay, literally aleph bet, A-B means father. Okay, so in Hebrew they teach something called their sentences are noun sentences. So if I say ab, and then if I say the word Moses, which is like meme, shin, he, maybe it's Moshe, okay? And so if I say Moshe ab, what am I saying? You would read it, Moses father. So the word is and a is automatically implied. So in Hebrew they don't say is and a, they just say Moshe ab. I'm saying Moses is a father. So if the word Malik means king, like I'm good on any MLK Boulevard, MLK, Malik, that means king. Okay? So then if we say Moshe Malik, what am I saying? Moses king. Is and a is automatically implied. Moses is a king. Okay? So then in one of the weeks, maybe the third week, you will see the letter he, which is an H, in front of a word. And it'll be a hyphen next to the word that it's in front of. And he with a hyphen means the. So if I say he Malik, I'm saying the king. So if I say Moshe he Malik, what am I saying? Moses is the king. So it's very, 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 very easy. And I also give you a couple prayers to deal with blessing of the food and blessing of the bread, or blessing of the wine and whatnot. And you know, the Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, right? So bless you, Lord, O God, King of the world, is what I just said. So to teach you, to show you that your mind is so quick to learn, so great, that we're literally going to expand the part of our mind that literally processes money and numbers, and hopefully that will increase our capacity to become more financially prosperous. That's why I'm calling it Hebrew, the language of prosperity. But even when I get into the symbolic Hebrew, dope, super dope, because each letter represents an idea. It represents an idea. It represents a concept. And it represents two ideas. One is a cosmic concept. In Hebrew, man, Hebrew is so dope. It's 22 letters. These 22 letters correspond to the 22 base amino acids. I can show you that in the human spine, the way that the spine is broken down. When you go Google image the thorax or the spine, what did they tell you? T through 12. T12, man, that's the 12 zodiac signs. And then you got C7. Right, you got 7 of these different type of vertebrae. Those are the 7 days of the week, which are 7 planets, man. All right. So 7 and 12 is 19. The 3 bottom portions of the spine are the 3 mother letters, Aleph, Mem, and Shem, which corresponds to air. Aleph is air, Mem is water, Shin is fire. You see what I'm saying? And so these energies are really a language of energy. Hebrew is a language of energy. Okay. And I'm going to show you that. So you'll get Aleph. Symbolic, its physical symbol look like an ox. We say, oh, that's the ox. But its cosmic archetype is air. So Bet, like the letter B, we say, oh, it looks like a house. But its cosmic archetype is Mercury, the planet Mercury. Gamil, it looks like a camel, but its archetype is, what's Gamil? The moon. Its cosmic principle is the moon. You see what I'm saying? Daleth, the door. It looks like a doorway, but its cosmic archetype is Venus. You see what I'm saying? So now technically when you start to see Hebrew letters, if you advance in it, you start to understand the principles at work with the word. And I'll give you this case in point, and I'll take some more questions when we get out of here. Look at the word shalom, which means peace in Hebrew. Shin, fire. Okay, shin is fire. Shalom. So that's the first word that you hear. You hear the L, right? Lamet. That's Libra. Lamet looks like this letter, look like Saturn almost. Libra. Okay? Libra is the scales, balance. Shalom. Then you hear the word, you hear the letter Meme. Water. Meme is water. Okay? It look like these three letters right here, if you can see it. Shin, Lamet, Meme. Alright, actually when this letter is at the end, it takes on a different form. Okay? So that's what you hear, shalom. So what does shalom mean? It means peace. But when you look at the cosmic archetypes, don't you know that Shin is fire? Don't you know that the L is Libra, which is balance? And the M is water. Straight up. Fire, Libra is balance. Fire balanced with water. Isn't fire synonymous with anger and passion? Isn't water synonymous with your emotion? So when they say shalom, they're saying, hey, peace is when my masculine and my feminine principles inside of my own psyche, passion and emotion, thoughts are at balance with each other. That's peace. See, that's much deeper to me than just peace, Doel, peace. Peace, my nigga, peace. Peace don't mean nothing. In this language, there are principles attached to letters on a cosmic phenomenon. You see what I'm saying? So I'll teach you how to read Hebrew, I promise you, in just 4 weeks. 5, because the first week I want you to learn the alphabet. And I go fast. I want you to go spit it to me. I'm playing with it because I know how great the mind is. You can run that alphabet: Aleph, Bet, Gamil, Dalet, Hey, Val, Zion, Ket, Tet, Yod, Kaf, Lamet. It's only 22 letters. Keep going. Just keep repeating. Aleph, Bet, Gamil. And you just, I'm telling you, the mind does something. This Hebrew language does something to the mind that expands you to a whole nother level quickly. And this has been noted. It's been noted. Dr. Bruce Bynum, in a book, was talking about how, these yogis do these different yoga and meditation techniques and stuff. But he said it's something about the Hebrew language and understanding the tree of life that when you understand that advances your consciousness as if you was a yogi doing yoga techniques. Real talk. Seriously, this stuff is mind expanding. All right? So be on the lookout for it, man. Y'all in? Y'all with it? Let me know y'all with it. Y'all with it in the chat? Y'all want to learn Hebrew real fast? My B-Day is 9/17. Keep seeing. Oh, man, you need to play that number, man. Or lady, I didn't want to say man, sorry. Mel P, play that number. Play it. You see 9/17, don't let yourself stalk you. That's yourself talking to yourself. Cash out. And give me 10%, please. Donate 10% to the church when you win. 9/17. I'm going to go play 9/17 and see if it come out. Samara Yah Israel, you already know. I know you're going to be in Hebrew. You coming. All right. So any questions? Yep. Will that be Yiddish or traditional? I don't know. Is that Yiddish or what's the other one that they call it? What's the other one that they call it? You got Yiddish and you got Sephardic, right? Hey, I'm just sticking straight to. I don't know. I don't know which one it is, to be honest with you. I'm sticking to the basics though. I just want the 22 letters, and then I just want the words, and then we're gonna use female. The second week is gonna be the female nouns. Man, this thing is interesting, man. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. You know what I mean? Because the word nation, like that's feminine. Y'all know in Hebrew the word love is actually a masculine noun. I say this, like, we think love is feminine, love is masculine. We think the mind is masculine, but the mind is feminine. It's a reversal. But then they both are interchangeable as well and take on the same roles. And the human mind does that. You go from receiving, which is feminine, and then see this is what I'm saying. Hebrew taught me a lot. The heart we think is feminine because it represents love, but in Hebrew they teach that the heart is actually masculine. Love is masculine. The heart literally, there's something in the heart called the SA node that creates the electrical pulse for this whole body to go. Without the heartbeat, it's a wrap. You out of here, right? So the heartbeat sends information via the vagus nerve up to the brain. The brain takes this information and it starts to regulate the body. Okay? So the brain is actually receiving information from the heart. That's why I say when the heart is masculine, it's that electrical pulse. Electric has always been masculine and magnetic has always been feminine. However, your body is interchangeable because you come from mommy and daddy. The mind can then go positive because I can say consciously, I'm about to slow my breath down, and in return for me consciously making that decision from the mind, that thought is going to send a signal down to the heart, and the heart is going to slow down in its breath. So the heart is not telling the mind what to do. My mind can tell my heart what to do. And vice versa. My heart can tell my brain what to do. So this interplay of male-female dynamics happens all the time within the human body. So that's why I say don't fall for the illusion. Nothing in this world is really one way and concrete. All right? All right. All right, so y'all with it? Y'all good? All right, cool, man. So I'll take one more, man. We've been on for an hour and 42. I'm about to do some barbecue on y'all. I'm doing some barbecue. So you got anybody? One more question? Very welcome. Very, 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 very welcome. I appreciate you. Anybody? Question? Any question? Be on the lookout, man, because I'm telling you, we're going to do this Saturday morning powwow, man. Saturday morning prosperity. Anywhere between 11 and 1 o'clock. No later than 1 o'clock. Should make everybody get up early. 11 o'clock, man. Let's get up. Yeah, Hebrew is a language of prosperity. That's what it's going to be called. Hebrew, the language of prosperity. It's a 4-week class. Hebrews, though, it's just been coming back to me, man. Like, okay, people been asking me, and I'm like, all right, man, I'll do it. I'll do it. It's totally made my mind on another level. So Atlanta, I don't know about when we coming back to the ATL. I don't know. Yeah, I got that right here on the shelf. The brown book with the go. I got the JPS. I got that. I got that on the shelf, man. Yep. And then you can translate your own words. You know what I'm saying? And so, see, with Hebrew, each letter is a word. So, like the letter bet, like the second letter of the alphabet, aleph, bet. Like bet, you got to spell that. You just can't put the letter B. That is spelled out. So, in Hebrew, the second letter is spelled bet, yod, tau. So it looked like bit, B-I-T is how it would look, like bit. But that's the same word for vagina. And it's also the same word as a house. So symbolically in Hebrew, we say that the letter B is a house. It's something that you go in. But that's a vagina too. It's something that you go in. So the very first word in the Bible is Bereshith, but each letter represents a word. So the word Bereshith could mean in beginning. So it's Bereshith bara Yod He Vav He. In the beginning, the Lord. Right? But that's somebody's translation. I get it, because Bereshith means in beginning. Bara is created. See, they talk different. They talk like you would be like a caveman. If you read it in English, it would be, in the beginning created God. But in English, we say, in the beginning God created. But word for word in Hebrew is saying, in the beginning created God. I got one of my translations because I know that bet itself is a word that means vagina. So technically, I can say, in vagina created God. I can say that. I can prove that. Based off just the language of what the words mean and whatnot, if I just want to be metaphysical in a sense, right? That's why I did an old post. It's old school. I was cracking this years ago. You can go to Google and type in, maybe you can type in one of my blogs. It's like Noble Lampu did the vagina create God? That's a blog that I did dealing with the Hebrew structure of what's taking place in my analysis of the Hebrew language. It's a great blog on My Astrology Coach, but you can probably Google it. And did the vagina create God? My Astrology Coach. Google that. Did the vagina create God? My Astrology Coach. And that's me getting into this whole Hebrew thing from that standpoint. In fact, back in that time, I was heavy on the Zohar game, and I was dropping a lot of information on this Hebrew thing and whatnot. And so look into it if you're interested in it, man. All right. All right. So we good? We good? All right, man. So I appreciate y'all. I got any updates for y'all? Oh man, today's conversation again is love a reflection? If you just got here, you're late. Go to the beginning. Love is a reflection. Yeah. A lot of people, Samara, a lot of people are saying that the black woman is God because it's something different to say, to be honest with you. And that's not taken away from the woman. It's not taken away from the man. I mean, come on, man. This stuff is simple. This ain't hard. If man was first, then that means inside of you is a secret woman, man. So I don't care what you tell me. If woman is first, then inside of you is a secret man. So, all right. So where we at? Where we going with this? You know what I mean? The Chinese know what it is. It's called yin yang. These are two forces that are inseparable that come into existence at the same time. Now, the evolution of, man, only thing you gotta do is study embryogenesis, the beginning of the embryo for human beings and what takes place. I know, I've done the study. At week 4, you develop Wolffian ducts. At week 5, you develop Müllerian ducts. For 5 weeks, you're gonna live all the way up to week 10, you make a decision. If I'm a man, my Wolffian ducts are going to come on and start creating the testicles, and my Müllerian duct is going to atrophy and become small, and it's going to shrink and become dormant. My female self is going to become dormant, but she's inside of me. I got a she inside of me. Want me to prove it? Go to Wikipedia right now, and I want y'all to type in vagina masculina, also known as the prosthetic utricle. Facts. For the woman, if you're going to become a woman, then the Müllerian ducts is going to develop as fallopian tubes. In your inner father, your inner male, the Wolffian duct is going to atrophy and become dormant and small. Okay? You can look into this, and this is known as the Skene's gland inside of a woman. It's right by the clitoris, how you want to say it. The Skene's gland, the dormant gland of her dad, the secret inner male is inside of her. And so we're both of these energies. We just predominantly express one of them. This is why I can't be mad at Bruce Jenner if he wants to become whatever his name is, Caitlyn. Because the scientific question is, can that dormant gene turn itself back on? Because it turned off. So if it can turn off, can the intelligence that you're not conscious of how it works, can it decide to turn back on? Yes. Could it be the foods? Absolutely. Why not? Could it be soy product? Whatever. Something can turn it on if it's there. So there's no God without each other. That's the oxymoron. God is the devil. In other words, I create good and I create evil, as the scripture says. I am those things. And Genesis shows us in the very beginning, don't you fall for the trick of duality, because when you eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, you're going to die. But when you just stay with the tree of life, this is not the tree of life and death. When you just stay with the tree of life and understand that all is mental, all is God, all is God, then you should have eternal life. The moment that you fall for the trick of duality, oh, I'm naked, oh, this is good, this is bad, you just fell from the grace. You just got distorted. It's all God. This is why Job got at his wife. Woman, you sound stupid. The evil is from God too. You think I'm just supposed to praise the good stuff that come? No, these trials and tribulations is from my God. Don't sound stupid, lady. And all that Job said, he said nothing wrong. That's what the scripture says. Okay? So we can't fall for the trick of duality. It's not about me being here first. It's not about you being here first. We are together. Siamese twins in this reality. All right? You did? All right. So what's that, man? Is a cycle 52 days after our Earth Day. Mars cycle. Well, if you're looking at planetary cycles, man, it depends what you given. If you're going to say, hey, 52 days after my birthday is the Mars cycle, it depends, man. What's the alignment for that cycle? If you're in the Cards of Destiny system, you know what I mean? Because they break those cycles down. Then if you got favorable diamond cards, money cards, then possibly yes. Is Mars in the sky in your 5th house? Then possibly yes. You know what I mean? The house of gambling. Excuse me. You know, it's just, it depends. So like I said, when you start going through that rabbit hole of interpretation, you can always find reasons of why it's not there, and then you will always find reasons when it is there. So then it comes back to the very basic point that you need to make a decision. And you need to go for it, and you need to be like DJ Khaled. All I do is win, 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 and then you own all the time. Happiness for 365 days, and then for a whole nother year, got to be the constant norm, so you always own it, no matter what cycle you in the cycle of life, and it's all good. You see what I'm saying? And so we got to learn how to build the momentum up. That's why on the website, if you go to myastrologycoach.com, you go to the shop tab, and then you go to the classes. No, was it classes? Yeah, go to, I think it's class. No, go to coaching. So myastrologycoach.com, go to shop, then go to coaching. Then you're going to see the personal 21-day consult. And the goal of that is to give you 2 things. One, your personal financial new year, but the second thing is the mega alignment that we get once a year that's way more prosperous than the average time of year. And to use that prosperous alignment as a Kickstarter to get you going, and then when things manifest in that zone, it's up to you to keep that momentum going, that DJ Khaled momentum, keep on going and going and going, so you can consistently go throughout the heavens 365 days in one full circle to the best of your ability, and happiness, happiness, happiness. So once you complete this cycle of happiness, you can advance to another level and repeat the cycle of more happiness to get more abundance. Problem is, we got these on and off days, and then one year is a good year, the next year is not so good, and we just keep on fluctuating. And we got to get to the extreme side of where we want to go. You see what I'm saying? But again, this stuff can be measured. So definitely y'all take advantage of that, because that's not going to be at that $97 price. It's only there for this month. So, you know, that's why I got the video. Brother Dion like shit. I did it. I came up 3,500. I'm gonna put another video up when a person came up 5,000. I'm gonna put that video up soon. It came up 5,000 from doing it. You know what I mean? And she ain't paid for, she's in the membership at an old price of $19 a month. So at $19 a month, I don't know how much she paid up to that point, but come on, for $19 for that month, for her to come up $5,000, like that was a blessing. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the old membership. It ain't that no more. You know what I mean? But you know, take advantage of that myastrologycoach.com shop tab and coaching and get that personal consult so you can see what your 21-day of prosperity is for you individually. All right. So what we at here, man? We good? Y'all good? All right. So look out for the email on the prosperity thing. If you're not on my mailing list, only thing you got to do is go to myastrologycoach.com. Join the mailing list. If you're new to the channel, thank you for coming. Take your time. Watch these videos. I always say go to the playlist that says celebrity news and celebrity deaths. That playlist is the best demonstration on how astrology works, showing you real life correspondences from quote unquote famous people and stars, how when they go through shit, I go show you the exact same corresponding principle and how that planet was in the exact same place where it was when it was born, and that's the mirror to the event. All right? So with that, I'll see y'all. If you need me, man, just give me a buzz. I answer the phone. I'd love to talk to you. Peace.